Welcome, everyone. I just got a frog in my throat the second I said welcome.
Perfect.
How are you? How's your day? How's your heart?
Mm,
Hmm.
lots
So
of questions.
today we want to talk about breaking the cycle of overthinking.
Mhm. I'm really good at that.
About
Overthinking. The
okay.
overthinking part. You know, which is why I feel like this is a great topic because I have probably a lot I could say on it.
I mean, it's such a common cycle space that we all get into. And I feel
Mhm.
like in Western culture, which is, how I was raised, so what I can really speak to,
Right.
that is the predominant mode that we are encouraged to be in, and the place where we're taught to do our life from. This is
Mm,
how we solve problems. This is how we make decisions. It's like a really mentally focused school system, culture,
mm,
training that we get.
for sure.
And of course, I love my brain. I love my mind, my thinking
Mhm.
processes. It's, beautiful to have a good intellectual capacity.
Yeah.
But when we solely focus on thinking things through to figure them out, we lose an infinite amount of wisdom because we're basically working from the neck up. And our bodies carry so much problem solving ability, so much decision making ability, so much wisdom that we just really haven't learned to tap into. So, we're going to talk a little bit about ways to get into that later in this episode, but we just want to talk about what that is, how to catch yourself.
Mm,
Because a lot of times when I go into overthinking, I'm in such a loop that I'm not noticing that I'm doing it. I'm just in it.
right.
And it
Yeah.
becomes very like an unconscious state that's just happening.
So true. Oh my gosh, I so relate to that. And even there's even times where it's like I'm stuck in it and I want to stay there because I'm
Mm.
like, no, if I just keep thinking about it longer, I'll figure it out. I'll find the solution. I'm just got to keep thinking about it. Got to keep thinking about it. Oh, what if I try this? What if I try that? And some aspects of that are great for problem solving and can come in handy. So, like you were saying, I'm very thankful for my brain to have the capacity and the ability to think in complex ways and to solve a problem. But I can only stay in the mind and forget about the wisdom in the body and start to drive myself crazy, really. Like just going off and then putting myself and my body really in like a stressed sympathetic nervous system state where then I'm really shut off from solutions because my body's like, "Oh my God, freak out, fight or flight, something's wrong."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point that overthinking does trigger our sympathetic nervous system.
Oh
And
my
actually,
gosh.
what happens when the sympathetic nervous system is triggered is that we lose access to our frontal cortex. So,
Yep.
and that's actually one of the best problem solving spaces in our brain. So now we're just in the primal aspect of the brain, which is survival.
Yep.
And the from that place, the only solutions you can come up with are solutions about, how to save your life. So
Right.
like it's in the word, it's primal. It's not
Mhm.
complex. It's just, how do I get out of this? Lowest common denominator. And this is where you see people doing things like lying, where they're like, oh no, I got caught doing something. I'm going to just say, oh no, I wasn't doing that. I was doing this. It's not even, maybe something that they might normally do. Their primal brain is kicked in and they're
Right.
just trying to like quickly get out of something. Oh no.
An automatic
Um,
response. Yeah. Yeah, and we're like shutting ourselves off from like actual creativity and creative ways to think about something when we're in that state. So, yeah, we can continue to think about something, but then we're just like you said, in that reactive state rather than a creative one where a better solution or idea could come through.
yeah.
Oof. Ooh.
Right. So one of, like we said, so the question then is, okay, so now I'm in a kind of an unconscious state. My sympathetic nervous system has been triggered. How do I even catch myself? And so I would start by just creating an intention around it.
Mm,
So you just start saying, okay, I notice that in me. I notice I do that. And I would love to shift out of that state faster. So I'm holding the intention that when I get triggered into overthinking, I notice it quicker and quicker.
it's a great intention.
So you're just planting the seed again. I'm going to start noticing this quicker and quicker.
Yeah, that's such a great place to start. To just set that intention because we all do it. We all overthink certain things and get caught up in those loops, and it's not really enjoyable. I mean, I have spent hours of my day in that state sometimes, and then I look back and I reflect at the day and I'm like, God, that was not a great use of my time. Like I could have actually been doing other things that were supporting me in greater ways where, maybe I was finding a solution or maybe I wasn't, but I was still, giving my mind a break, giving myself a break. And sometimes when we do take a break from the thinking, come back to it later, or maybe we just take a break, then a solution comes to us. Then it's just naturally flows in because we're not trying so hard to figure it out.
Yes, I know. I was just thinking, how often do we do the overthinking pattern and, like you said, step away or go to sleep and wake up the next day and have a solution and have the mistaken perception that the solution came from all the overthinking,
Mm.
when actually, it's like you might think, well, I did all that thinking and thinking and thinking, and then the solution came to me. But the solution probably came once you broke that state of overthinking.
Right. Yeah. And I want to bring in also this like the manifestation piece because that's something we love to talk about. And I think with this overthinking topic, it, it's helpful to be aware of what your energy is like in these states. So are you in alignment with what you want, with a good vibration, with feeling good, or is all of that overthinking like creating you or causing you to just feel like down and, oh, I can't figure this out, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, in that fight or flight mode? And so where is our energy throughout the day? Like I said, I've had days where I've literally spent hours thinking about something and I look back and I'm like, Ooh, okay. I was not in a really like high vibrational or like aligned state. I was pushing myself further away from what I really wanted because I was worried. I was frustrated. I was angry. I couldn't figure it out. And there's no solutions. I'm never going to get it. Well, that's taking me further away from what I want. And, so it's noticing our energy in those states. And one teacher I really love, Juliet Cleary, which we're going to have her on the podcast one of these days. I just know it. She talks about a 60-40 rule. And I don't know if she calls it a rule, but it's essentially, if 60% of your day you're in a positive state, you're feeling good, you're feeling happy, you're feeling joyful, at least 60%, then that only leaves 40% of like the difficult stuff, which is still going to happen. But we're tipping the scale. So it's not, we don't have to always be in this like massively high vibrational, joyful state all the time, or we're not going to get what we want. But just the majority of the time, can we feel good? Can we feel happy? Can we feel joyful? Even if it's 60%. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it's just 51%. Like, okay, that's a start. You still tip the scale.
Yeah. And that's a nice guideline. It feels good. It feels like, okay, that's something that I can feel into throughout my day and notice where I'm leaning,
Mm-hmm.
not as a way to criticize or berate yourself,
Never.
but as a just a way to start looking at where can I shift this a little bit sooner, or take intentional parts of the day to say, I'm going to set the alarm on my phone. And when the alarm goes off, I'm going to spend 5 minutes really giving myself positive messages, taking some breaths, doing something that feels good and uplifting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you may program your phone to go off like 5 times a day and start working in something like that, where you're just starting to really consciously bring in a higher vibrational state.
Yeah, because then you're training yourself in that way. It's like, okay, do this 5 times a day. Like the alarm's going to go off. Over time, you'll probably start doing it before the alarm goes off. It's just going to become a more natural thing. So now you're just training your body more and more to be in that like positive state.
Right.
I
And
love
so when
it.
we're talking about manifestation, a nice way to think about it is that we can manifest from ego, which is kind of like, I want this, I want that. Um, Probably seeing things outside yourself, or maybe things that somebody else has, and saying, oh, that looks really good, I want that too. Or we can manifest in connection with divine source, with spirit, with love, with our highest good,
Mm-hmm.
which opens up this really wide field that says, I feel like this would feel really good to me, but because I'm doing this in co-creation with spirit and source, I know that I myself could never even know what's in my highest good, and maybe spirit has something so much more amazing in store for me.
Yes.
And so I'm going to put myself in the feeling tone of the direction I want to go in and leave myself open to more. Or when we're in that ego manifestation, we get really fixed on a particular outcome and say, no, I want this. I know that this is the thing that I want in my life. And, that could be a house, or living in a certain city, or even a particular person that you get attached to being in a relationship with, and say, no, it's this person.
Right.
And you can feel, probably as I talk about that, the energy feels a lot more collapsed and constricted around the fixed point than it does around the co-creation.
Yeah.
And I think that the lower vibrational states tend to be more in the fixed point. And when we start
That's your
re-
energy.
yeah, and when we start working on raising our vibration, we start to open ourselves to that co-creation energy where we're in more of a state of love and openness, gratitude, appreciation, wonder,
Yeah.
curiosity, like how much
Possibility.
better could this get? Like,
Yes.
this seems amazing to me, but hey, I'm open.
Right. And so I like the, there might be certain like specifics that you want. And that's okay too, because it gives you a direction of what it is that
Yes.
you're going for. And I always like to say, maybe it is a specific person or a city or a home. You could say like, okay, this or something better.
Yeah.
What else? Show me how good it gets, universe. Like, this is a really good idea. I like this right here. But I'm totally open to it being even better than that because I don't know and you do. Infinite possibility.
Yes.
That feels so much better to just be like, yeah, that feels good. Like, and then you can be
Yeah.
unattached.
And I notice as you're talking to that, I can feel more of my body. I feel like I'm more connected throughout from head to toe. Just feeling what you're saying, this or
Mm,
something better. And I'm not thinking about what you're saying, like, ooh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna remember to say that I like to think about that. It's like a more of a feeling tone.
yeah, that's sort of like expansive, like openness, excitedness. Like, I mean, as I was speaking it, you probably saw me, and anybody watching this on YouTube probably saw my body was kind of like opening up, my arms are coming out, because that's how it feels to me, even just to speak about it. Like, automatic, my body's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, to bring this back to the overthinking, so we're gonna circle back around to that. um we talk about how when we get into that state, we start getting into the fear and the worry and the sympathetic nervous system and fight or flight, and we're cutting ourselves off from infinite possibilities. We're just like, nope, this one narrow-minded way. How do we start to get out of that? And so a lot of times in those moments, it's about just doing something that's going to shift your state of being. And if you're in that state where it's like, no, I need to figure this out, set a timer for 5-10 minutes, let your brain have that moment, and then go do something else. Start to shift that state that you're in. And, for me, a big one that is really helpful is just getting outside in nature and just breathing in the air and being like, oh, okay, maybe this isn't as like serious as I'm making it out to be. Maybe I need to lighten up a little bit and laugh. Like, I'm gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So nature's a big one for me.
Dancing.
Dancing's so good.
Dancing's such a good one. And it just, you know, that movement, like putting on a song that you love. Now you're using like sound vibration and the intention of the music, and then movement and breath. Because, of course, as you start to dance around, you're breathing more deeply.
Mm-hmm. And even just breath practices, So maybe you're somewhere where you can't really get out in nature right now. You can't really dance around, you know. We've shared, and actually in our last episode, the heart coherence breath, which is a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. There's different breathing patterns you could do. Box breathing, which would be 4 counts in, a hold for 4, 4 counts out, a hold for 4. There's lots of different breathing techniques. You can pick your favorite one, and that would be amazing to shift your state. Some
Yeah.
basically some basic deep diaphragmatic breaths. You don't have to do a count. Just take some deep breaths.
Yes.
Powerful. Absolutely powerful.
Yeah. And the focus in any of these things is really to let go for just even 2 minutes or 5 minutes of what you're thinking about, and just start feeling your body, feeling your breath, literally shifting your state. Just what's happening in my body? How does it feel right now? Can I feel my body?
Yeah.
I know I've gone into overthinking states, and then when I've remembered to take some deep breaths and drop into my body, I've thought, oh gosh, it's really cold in here. I didn't even notice. Or it's
Interesting.
same, really hot in here. Like I was disconnected even from the sense of my environment.
Wow. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
anytime you can let go of what you're thinking about for a few minutes and get into your body, it's going to open up all these new problem solving channels
Yeah.
that you didn't have access to before. And that doesn't mean that the solution is going to come right away,
Right.
although it could. It definitely could.
Right.
Um, and I would say if you are having a really difficult time letting go of something you're overthinking, get out a piece of paper and write it all down. Just
Yes.
get it all out, because sometimes when we're thinking that way, we're thinking, okay, well, I have these options, and then you want to go back and be like, oh, right, that was another option. Or then you're thinking, oh, I want to remember this piece of it. Or
It's
you're
just so
trying to
much.
think of something you want to say to somebody and you're trying to get the words right. So getting that all on paper makes your brain feel really safe.
Mm,
Like, oh, okay, now we have it. It's all in one place. I don't have to remember that piece. It's
yeah.
on this piece of paper. And it
Yeah.
really helps the brain feel safe enough to let go of what it's processing.
Yeah, I resonate with that just because, oh man, there's sometimes I'm just like, don't forget this, don't forget this, don't forget this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna forget everything. And then, yeah, just writing it down, it's like, oh, okay. My brain is,
Uh,
it's like, okay, I don't have to try to remember 10,000 things right now. It's okay. It's all on paper. I can reference that. I'm good.
and that, can automatically start shifting you from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic, because the brain starts to relax. And then you're dropping into the body and you're like, okay, I have all this information here in front of me. And your body state, naturally, your nervous system wants to be balanced. It's always trying to move into a state of balance.
Hmm.
So when we support it that way, it is going to start shifting back.
Yeah. Just to go on this like writing bet, another one of my favorite exercises too. It's like if it's not necessarily like things you're trying to remember, sometimes I just like to do a brain dump where, it's a stream of consciousness writing essentially. So, you get out your pen, your paper, and you just start writing literally anything that comes to your mind. Does not have to make sense. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. It's literally just words on the paper that you are just writing out. And it's sort of just like, oh, okay, get all that out of my brain, and it's somewhere, and it's just out of my head.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels really good to do that.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've done that one actually, but it's always like on my radar of like I could do this. And it's a good one for the morning too, because at least for me, it's like I can wake up and immediately start going, okay, I gotta do this today, and I'm gonna do this today, and I gotta remember that, and then there's this happening, and oh yeah, that, and yeah. It's like the brain's like, okay, I'm rested now, it's time to think again about all the things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
a
is. It's
lot.
really good practice. There's a practice called morning pages that says
Yes.
just get up every morning and write 3 pages every morning, or wait for 20 minutes every morning and do that process, a brain dump, where you don't ever stop the whole time. So if you get to a point where you're not sure what to say, you write, I don't know what to say. I can't think of anything. Nothing's coming to me. I don't know what to say. And you just keep saying that. And then, of course, your brain has more to say. More will come. But then you
Yeah,
just do that every morning. And it's actually incredibly freeing.
for sure. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we there's a lot of different things you can do. I mean, pet your dog, pet your cat, like that's something that is like animals are so healing. It's a great way to help you like shift from the overthinking. Take a cold shower. That's gonna change your state so fast.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna be like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, all right. I guess I could just chill out for a minute.
Yeah. So we're actually making you a nice, big, abundant list of activities you can use for a state change.
Yes, we've thought of a lot, so we're excited to share this with you.
So we just thought it would be so nice. Like, let's create a doc, get it all in one place. You can print it out. We're going to have it in our links on our Instagram page at Luminous Human School.
Yep,
And you can just
and it's
print this
free.
out, and it's free.
It's free.
And so that you have something you can print out, you can put it on your bulletin board or somewhere that's easy to glance at, and it will help remind you when you are in an overthinking state. You'll see, it'll be in your vision somewhere. So to help you catch that a little bit quicker. And then it gives you this whole list of things to choose from
Yep.
that, so that when you're activated, you don't have to come up with something yourself.
Right, because when you're in that state and you are activated, it's like you could know all of this, but in that moment, you're like, okay, what were those things I'm supposed to do again? Like you even cut yourself off from the things that you know.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
having a handy list like this, I mean, you could fold it up, throw it, like keep it in your wallet or your purse, like have it with you when you're out and about and be like, what was on that list? I need it. Oh, what can I do? And like pick one and do it
Yes.
and see how you feel and tell us about it.
Yes. And then the other piece that we want to share with you is that anything you practice is going to be that much easier to do when you're in an activated state.
Yes.
So, really, what the offer is here is to pick something off the list every day. It could be the same thing every day, it could be a different thing every day. You can play with them, see which ones you like, which ones resonate with you the most, but do one every day, especially if you're feeling amazing or joyful, and you can anchor that practice to a really high vibrational state.
It's a perfect time to practice these things is when you're feeling good. Because then, like, you link it to that state. Then, when you're activated and you do it, you're going to link yourself back to that state again, as well as, being in this state shifting practice. It's really, yeah, all good all around to do it that way.
Yeah, so it gives you some tools just for nice, simple ways to raise
Yeah.
your vibration and be connected to your body and be connected to your breath, your spirit, your connection every day.
Yeah.
And then when you do something like this every day, it's like strengthening a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be that much more likely to reach for it when you're in the state of overthinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I need this list, so I'm excited to have it too. I mean, 'cause really, I could tell you
Yes.
like today I spent like an hour and a half walking on the beach in the most beautiful place, overthinking. And I was noticing I was like, Lindsay, the ocean is right here. Like, just can you be present for a moment?
Isn't that amazing?
Right? It's like, wait, so yeah, I needed like a thing like that to take me out of it, because I was finding myself starting to be like addicted to the thought pattern as well. So, but yeah, awareness, so key around this too. Is like start there, because
Yeah.
otherwise, how are you going to implement something if you're not aware that you're doing it?
Yeah. And I would say when you catch yourself overthinking, get excited.
Ooh,
Instead of being like, overthinking, go to stop it, think like, "Oh, I caught it. I
yes,
noticed and then like celebrate that you caught it.
I love that.
Because just even that little moment of, ooh, I'm becoming more aware, I'm becoming more present will also help you step out of that quicker in the future.
I love that piece, like, because it is like just as I was explaining it, like clearly I was like, "Gosh, Lindsay, why are you, you're here walking by the ocean overthinking?" It's like, had I been like, "Ha, I got it, I caught myself, I'm doing that again. Okay, I'm okay. This what a beautiful day it is." And I did catch myself a few times, and I was like, "Okay, let me practice some gratitude for a moment." And so, it's all a
Yeah,
process. It's all a process.
yeah. Oh, definitely. This is not something that we're suggesting that as you practice this in 3 or 6 months' time, you will never overthink again.
Mastered it. Oh no, me overthink? No.
Oh no, I'm connected to the divine. I
All moment.
co-create in connection with love at all times.
I am never activated or triggered ever. I am perfect. No,
Oh,
not quite.
law.
We're human. We are human.
So this is just like a life practice that we get to practice. So to think of it as I have this amazing body and all these tools I get to practice
Hmm.
to deepen my connection with myself and the ways that I problem solve and the ways that I create solutions or have creative inspiration come through in my life.
Yes. Ugh, I love all of that.
Yay.
So beautiful. I mean, it just, yeah, it feels so good to think of it that way. It's like when we talk about feeling into the body and the energy, just it's almost like when like you were just speaking that and putting in those terms, I was automatically feeling the sense of relief within myself. That's like, oh, right, like this gets to be fun. Like the work that we do on ourselves and the work we do to become better versions of ourselves in whatever capacity, it gets to be fun. Yeah, there's going to be moments where it's like, man, this is tough. Oh, shadow work. Oh, God, I don't know. But on the other side of that and that process and the growth that comes from it is incredible. So let it be fun as much as you can. Let it be exciting. Let it be joyful. Because then you're also putting yourself in that aligned state even more. Win, win, win,
Yes.
win, win, win. And we love that.
We do love that. So, oh,
Yeah.
well, we, as always, really hope that this has served your highest good.
Yes. In any capacity. As always, like, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Luminous Human School. Let us know how this lands for you. If you try any of the things on the list that you'll find in our profile to download, let us know how it goes for you. What did you experience? What did you notice? Did you come up with a new solution, or did you realize it didn't need a solution and all is well anyway? So, yeah, we appreciate you being here with us on this journey, listening to whatever it is we bring to you in our weekly episodes.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us, and we love you so much.
We love you so much.